We must have a collective position on matters to do with debt and liquidity. It is only fair that we have a financing mechanism that treats everybody equally.
Hello, welcome again. This is Fact About Africa, and today we are here again to share with you several things concerning our mother continent, Africa, and its progress on development in each and every aspect concerning politically, economically, socially, and other like that. So today we are going to look what President of Kenya, Mr. William Ruto, said concerning African revolution. According to Mr. William Ruto, the President of Kenya has been vocal about his vision of Africa's development, advocating for economic self-reliance, regional cooperation, and innovative approaches to sustainable growth. Since taking office in 2022, Ruto has positioned himself in a proponent of Africa unity and economic transformation, emphasizing the needs for Africa countries to take control of their development agenda rather than relying heavily on foreign aids and external influences. Here are some themes in Ruto's statement and views on Africa development. There are keys or points that Mr. William Ruto has based on concerning development or revolution in economic of Africa. So we are going to see one after another. The first point is self-reliance and economic independence. This is one theme which Mr. Ruto has concerning development of Africa. Ruto frequently calls for Africa to move away from dependence on foreign aid, which he has believed often leads to economic exploitations and compromises sovereignty. He advocates the policies that encourage investment in local industries, agriculture development, and the expansion of manufacturing capabilities. Ruto emphasized that Africa countries should capitalize on the natural resources and the talents to drive self-sustained growth, rather than relying on external assistance. This is one theme from Mr. President William Ruto. Another theme is regional integration and intra-African trade. Ruto supports strengthening regional blocs like East Africa Community, EAC, and the African Continental Free Trade Area, which aim to boost trade among Africa countries. He urged that enhanced regional integration is crucial for creating jobs, boosting economies, and improving infrastructure by promoting intra-African trade. He believed that African nations can build economic resilience and reduce dependence on export to non-Africa countries. Another theme third, is climate action and renewable energy. Mr. Ruto recognized Africa's vulnerability to climate change. Ruto has been outspoken about the need for African nations to lead in adopting sustainable energy solutions. He advocates for investment in renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and geothermal to meet Africa's growth energy needs. Kenya, under his leadership, has been making strides in renewable energy, especially in geothermal power, and Ruto position this as model for other African nations. And the next theme is technology and innovation for development. Ruto has emphasized the potential of technology to drive development across sectors like agriculture, healthcare, and finance. He promotes digital innovation as a way to improve efficiency, productivity, and accessibility. He has specifically advocated for using digital platforms in agriculture to provide farmers with information, improve supply chains, and access markets more effectively. He also supports digital financial inclusion, such as mobile money, to integrate more people into the economy. And the next is the youth empowerment and education. Ruto sees Africa's young population as a significant asset for continent's development. He advocates for policy that invest in quality education and skills building to prepare youth for a rapidly changing global economy. His administration support initiatives that promote entrepreneurship and job creation to address higher youth unemployment rates across Africa continent. The next is ending debt dependence. Ruto has spoken against the high level of debts accumulated by African countries, emphasizing that sustainable development is hindered by the financial burden of debt repayment to foreign creditors. He has advocated for a fair terms on loans and a greater fiscal responsibility among African governments to avoid excessive debt. And the last one is strengthening African leadership and unity. Ruto has urged that African leaders to adopt a united approach when engaging with global institutions and negotiations. He believes that Africa needs a stronger collective voice to demand fair treatment and a partnership on the global stage, whether in trade, climate action, or international financing. Through these points, Ruto envisioned a future where African nations work collectively to achieve sustainable economic development, reduce poverty, and position Africa as a competitive player in the global economy. His vision for Africa development calls for an African-driven approach that empowers local economies, enhances trade among nations, and utilizes technology and renewable energy to build a prosperous future. So by seeing these 7 themes which Mr. Ruto has for the development of Africa, we as African, each one should look at this and start where he is, or where he can, or what he can do where he is. You know, these are the best themes which to be followed for our own development. It's for our own good. So we are here as facts about Africa to remember as us, other fellow Africans and diasporas, other presidents of several countries in Africa, to look at these themes, to be done physically, not theoretically. You know, if every African leader could pass through these 7 themes and do it accordingly, means that we as an African nation, we will grow up together. We will rise in our economy, our politics, and our socially. Each and every African will live that acceptable standard life. By saying it so, you may share your comments in the comment sections. We'll pass through there and see what your thoughts concerning these 7 themes from Mr. President William Ruto, and we will cross-check and answer so as we can get solution for our own problems here in Africa. Thanks for watching and welcome again. Hakuna Matata.